Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and watching another YouTube video for What Else Is Going On podcast, AKA We Go Podcast, WEIGO. Don't forget the audio version of the podcast can be found wherever you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. So I just wanted to come to y'all with, y'all know I like, by now, I hope you know, I like to come to y'all with things that have been interesting to me when I've read the articles and, scrolling through social media or, getting my news email alerts. I'm like, I want to talk about that. So I want to talk about a little housewives and then a little, I guess you could say, pop culture. So we can get into what else is going on. First up, let's talk a little bit Beverly Hills, y'all. Let's talk about Dorit and Kyle. Kyle, every time I see Kyle's name, I hear it in Dorit's voice. Kyle. Dorit Kemsley discusses feud with Kyle Richards and admits she's not in a great place with her, offers update on marriage to PK, and reveals which co-star she spoke to before the RHOBH reunion taping. So this is from Reality Blurb. Dorit Kemsley revealed where she stands with Kyle Richards before filming the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion last month. After Kyle, 55, suggested that the two of them were as close as Dorit had claimed, Dorit admitted their feud hurts her as she confirmed which of her co-stars she spoke to just before the taping and offered an update on her marriage to PK, which faced hardships throughout the season. Now, I will say, I was looking side eye at Kyle when I was reading last month. I think it was on her Amazon Live, if I'm not mistaken, how she was saying her and Dorit weren't as close as Dorit tried to make it seem. She's not one that she would call to talk to Dorit basically about something like serious. And it just reminded me what I've always thought about Kyle. Kyle always gets close to the new person on the show if they start beefing, or she gets close to a person that came in through someone that she's beefing with. I think Dorit came in through LVP. LVP and Dorit and PK were supposed to be really good friends, right? All of a sudden, Kyle's inviting Dorit places. Boom, they're good friends. Think of Brandi Glanville. Brandi came in through Adrian. Kyle and Kim couldn't stand her. Seasons later, Brandi's not a liar. When Brandi was, because Brandi ended up getting close to LVP. LVP and Kyle start feuding. Then all of a sudden, Brandi's not a liar, and she's close friends with Brandi. There was somebody else, I can't think of it now, but Teddy. Teddy came through LVP, I believe, right? Or was it Dorit? Teddy might have came through Dorit. Y'all let me know. But LVP and Teddy were kind of close. LVP called her Teddy Bear. Next thing you know, her and Teddy are BFFs. Yes, her and Teddy are still BFFs to this day, but I just always think it's interesting how Kyle gets these show best friends. But anyway, back to the episode. Dorit said, I'm not going into this reunion on the best terms with Kyle. Dorit shared ahead of the RHOBH season 13 reunion taping, noting that the special was the first in which they were not in a great place. It hurts me and I got a lot of feelings, and I really need to be open and honest because I care enough about our friendship, and it's important to me that the air is cleared. As the RHOBH fans may recall, Kyle accused Dorit of exaggerating their friendship last month after Dorit suggested she'd been replaced by Morgan Wade, whom Kyle began spending much more time with amid her split from Mauricio Umansky. She then appeared on Jeff Lewis Live, where she suggested Dorit lied about their closeness. She said, I just feel replaced by Morgan. I mean, and I love Dorit. I mean that. I love Dorit. I love her family, but she's never been, in the years since she joined the show, the girl that I would, the first morning call or going to work out with or going to breakfast, Kyle clarified. So I was like, let's not exaggerate it for the sake of you doing an interview bite to have a moment, because that's just making problems worse for me. And she knows that. So I was like, thanks a lot. That's not even true. So this is what Kyle's saying. During the show, Dorit has never been that girl who is her first morning call or going to work out with or going for breakfast. That doesn't mean that you can't be close, though. I mean, I guess I get what she's saying, but it's almost like to take the heat off of her from the audience reacting, saying, wow, or the social media reacting, saying, wow, Kyle seems really close to Morgan. Her and Dorit don't seem as close. So to get that heat off of her, Kyle's like, we weren't even cool like that. Like, we weren't even best friends like that to begin with. That's what it seems like to me. I could be feeling that way because Kyle has never been one of my faves, but Prior to the reunion, after getting some advice from her therapist and husband, PK, who doesn't always have the best advice, but he's someone that she chats with a lot, Dorit, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me go back and read that. Prior to the reunion, after getting some advice from her therapist and husband, PK, who doesn't always have the best advice, but he's someone that she chats a lot with, Dorit said Erica Jane was the last co-star she spoke to. She also noted that her marriage to PK has improved substantially since they filmed season 13. So maybe Dorit and Erica are a little bit closer. Do y'all remember? Oh, I was going to say Dorit was fascinated with Erica, but it was Sassoon. What was her name? Eden. When Eden Sassoon came on, and Dorit became so fascinated with her. But I think it's interesting that Erica was the last person that Dorit talked to. Dorit said, it's so nice to finally feel and say PK and I are doing great, the best in a long time. And I'm very happy about that. Definitely heading into 2024 with a very optimistic and happy feeling. We had some really trying times, and there were definitely moments where I didn't know which way it was going to go. That is a hard thing to swallow and live with, but things are great. So she's saying things are great with her and PK. They've gone through some things, but they can see the other side. 2024 is looking optimistic with their relationships. Her and Kyle, not so much. I will say, normally I'm not a fan of reunions. I guess just because to me, I like to be when I can. And of course, I don't always have them, right? But fact-based when you're in an argument or you're presenting an argument. So I feel like when you're watching the reunion, a castmate may say this happened. And as a viewer, I'm like, that didn't happen. We were watching it. And it, to me, it looks like sometimes Andy or the other cast members aren't getting into, well, no, that's not true. But of course they may have. They're there for 10, 12 hours, but we know that they can't show it all. And then with all the hollering and screaming, sometimes it just makes me like, ugh. But I looked forward to Salt Lake City reunion. And now I'm actually looking forward to the Beverly Hills reunion because I do want to see the dynamic with Kyle and Dorit and Kyle and Sutton, because Sutton said Kyle had put her on like a pause as well. So we'll see. Y'all, let's talk about Miss Whitney Rose. Now, y'all know, for those of you that have been listening to the podcast for a while and heard me on other podcasts and via social media, y'all know I don't give Whitney Rose an inch. The reunion, I gave her 3/4 of an inch when she seemed concerned about actually doing something to offend Mary. And she seemed more concerned with being racist than just being called one. Because frequently what I've noticed in these shows, some of the non-Black women are more concerned with being called a racist versus actually looking at their behavior and saying, okay, they're not calling me a racist, but maybe I have some microaggressions or some biases that I'm not aware of. So they're more concerned with that, which is why they won't have the conversation. But I appreciated Whitney and actually having a conversation with Mary and seeming like, hey, what did I do? Like, did I do something? Let me know. But I saw this on Reality Blurb. Whitney Rose shared why she's selling home and denies rumors of RHOSLC firing. Plus, she discusses past affair with her boss turned husband, Justin. So Whitney Rose shared why she's moving homes, and she claims she'll now film scenes in a dummy house. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star also addressed firing rumors, her past affair with boss turned husband, Justin, and if they're open about it with their kids. In the latest season, Whitney learned that her co-star Monica Garcia ran a troll page to expose Jen Shah while shading the cast. Her co-star suggested Monica stalked Jen's home and knew other co-stars' addresses. I literally just bought a new house. I'm moving, said Whitney on the Vile Files podcast, not because of Monica. As Reality Blurb reported last month, Whitney and her husband Justin have listed their Utah home for sale with a price tag of $2.1 million. I'm sorry, there's a link you can click. Her home is definitely beautiful, and it looks like the views are gorgeous. According to Whitney, the home sale has nothing to do with her supposed firing. It's not because of a lack of a return. I love my fans, but my fans know my address. I didn't know that my address is public. And so now I'm moving to a private place and no one's going to know where I live. And that is something to consider when you think about it. Addresses are public. I live in the DMV area. So some of the folks that we see filming Potomac or Love and Marriage DC, you kind of know where they live. Like, you know what I mean? You know the area. But what do y'all think about her saying she's filming in a dummy home? Because I get wanting safety, right? And not wanting fans, because you don't know, somebody, they could be doing drive-bys. Like Monica's not the only one that has done that. People have done it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a couple years in 2016, I did drive by Chateau Cheray and Kenya Moore Hair Care Home. I did. Just wanted to see. But it was just a drive-by. I'm not stopping, not getting out, not doing all that stuff. And not even saying that's right. Because what I want someone who watches YouTube to be like, I'm gonna drive by Taria's home. I mean, maybe if you're dropping something off, like a present, maybe. But I get what Whitney's saying, because all fans aren't driving by just to be like, oh my God, there's Whitney's house. Some could have really bad intentions. Some, just like your fans that love you may drive by, people that watch the show that don't like you could drive by. And that could be a nightmare. But at the same time, it's supposed to be reality, right? So do we want to know that she's filming her reality in a place that's not her home necessarily? I don't know if it really matters. What do y'all think? She also said that she doesn't want, again, she moving to a private place. No one's going to know where she lives. Her kids deserve that. It's already done. We're going to film in a dummy house. No one's going to know where I live. And I hope that everyone respects that out of the privacy for my children. She was also asked about her past affair with her boss, Justin, who's now her husband. Yeah, that was hot. I don't condone cheating. I don't think that it's something to be proud of, but it's how I met my husband. It's the truth. So you have to figure out a way to own it. Whitney claims she and Justin are very open about it with their kids. You know, I have 3 other stepsons, right? So I'm a grandma through marriage. So my oldest stepson is 5 years younger than me. We went to college together and we shared a moped. He'd watch my daughter in the morning, and then I would come home from school and he'd go to school. So yeah, we're very open. One thing I noticed she said when they start talking about her past affair with Justin when he was her boss, she said, yeah, it was hot. And I think about that now, the sneaking around. She mentioned on this latest season on Meredith and Seth's podcast that she was under the desk giving him head. And all of that is exciting and fun, and it was hot. Then you get pregnant, and then you get married, and then you have kids, and then you have day-to-day life, and then you have bills, and then you have work, and now you're on the show. And she talked about her sex life and her and Justin not connecting. And sometimes it does make you go back and look at, what was your foundation built on? Was your foundation built on screwing around in the office, under the desk, all of that stuff? Fell into love, had kids, created a family, and all of that. But you're missing that hotness that, you know what I mean, that you found in the beginning. So it's just something interesting to think about. But she's moving. Seems like her and Justin are fine, and she's filming in a dummy house. Let's talk about another person who I gives nothing to at all. Okay. Y'all nothing. Miss Ashley Darby. So she was on Watch What Happens Live a couple nights ago, and she had some pretty, I guess, interesting, if you will, things to say. Things that made me want to talk about it on here clearly, right? RHOP's Ashley Darby reveals the rapper linked to Mia, shares custody update and if she misses Michael, plus talks Wendy and Nneka drama, Chris regrets, and dating women. So she appeared on Sunday night's Watch What Happens Live, where she named the rapper linked to Mia Thornton and offered an update on her custody arrangement and divorce from estranged husband Michael. In addition to answering a series of rapid fire questions about Michael, explaining why she doesn't feel completely responsible for the drama between Wendy and Nneka, and sharing her regrets with Chris, the Real Housewives of Potomac star revealed she's dating both men and women as she dished on the rumors surrounding Mia's love life. I had heard that Mia was hanging out with Flo Rida. That was the rumor. She put that to bed. She said that's not true, but that was the rumor. During a Q&A about Michael, Ashley denied he's met any of her recent suitors, but noted that they almost had a close encounter when she was dating Luke from Summer House, potentially because Michael does have a key to her home and remains on her mortgage. While things started off rocky post-split for Ashley and Michael, they've gotten to a happy place in their co-parenting relationship. I have my children 7 days a week, and then we alternate weekends. We're no longer parallel parenting. We're officially co-parenting. That's a big deal for us. I didn't know if we'd ever get there, but I appreciate Giselle. She always said, it'll get better, and she was right. Ashley is also happy with her financial situation with Michael, saying that she doesn't need to contest their prenup to get alimony because they're still married. And she's in no rush to divorce, saying, I'm comfortable right now. I don't care. I don't care. She's in no rush to divorce because they weren't getting divorced anyway. Michael just doesn't want to have to film on this show. Anyway, then after admitting she sometimes misses her Washington, D.C. penthouse and its beautiful sunrises, she noted that she appreciates the big backyard she has now. When Andy asked Ashley if she misses Michael, she offered a long pause before sharing what warms her heart about him. I don't know why, but that's the kind of stuff that annoys me. Answer the question, Ashley. And I know that's just because of how I feel about Ashley. She says, we went to Monster Trucks as a family the other day, and watching him with my kids and seeing how they light up when they see their dad, that kind of still touches me. According to Ashley, she has no doubt in her mind that Mia and Gordon will finalize their divorce before she and Michael, as Mia's going to be married by next year. Yeah, so clearly it has to be finalized. She's on the fast track with her boyfriend incognito. Moving on to Wendy and Nneka, Ashley responded to a fan who wanted to know why she didn't bring them together after causing the drama between them. You will see at the reunion that there's much more to that situation. There are more things that transpired. So while I made a mistake, I'm not going to take full responsibility for where their relationship is. And I have tried numerous times, and I'm going to keep trying. Regarding Wendy's decision to opt out of Nneka's unpacking party, Ashley agreed it would be a lot for Wendy to go into Nneka's home, considering their past, before sharing hopes for a future reconciliation. I'm never going to say never, Andy. Maybe not now, but in the future. And Nneka's making quite an effort, which I appreciate. I know that some people are saying that some of the OGs are going to go. Some people are saying that they think Wendy and Candace are going to go. Some people are saying that they don't think Nneka's going to return. So, not saying that Wendy has any type of power or anything on the show, but I'm wondering if Nneka has seen the social media backlash that she has gotten, because she has gotten some in regards to her and Nneka and both women being Nigerian, and how people say they should have basically teamed up versus being at odds. And I wonder if that's why she's continuing. If that's why she tried to reach out. I mean, if that's why at the reunion, maybe she tried to make amends and then now she's continuing. I'm just curious what causes that turnabout, right? Or did you see that maybe you were possibly, I'm not saying was, but possibly used as a pawn to also be against Wendy? Who knows? She also said, looking back on her time with Chris at Eddie's weed dinner, Ashley admitted she was a little insensitive. I feel a little bad about how hard I was. I feel a little bad about how I approached that. Chris and I are on good terms. We're not like BFFs. It was a little harsh. As for why she recorded Nneka, Candace, and Karen talking about Wendy and Robin, Ashley clarified that she was simply trying to capture her mom eating caviar for the first time. Everybody was mic'd up. This was on camera. This was not a hot mic moment. Everyone was fully aware of what was going on. And then Ashley talked about her dating life. She said she's having a lot of fun and not limiting her dating pool to men. I have some lady friends, and I do like to kiss and tell, I must say. I forgot how tenderly women kiss compared to men. Although Andy asked Ashley if she was seeing any ladies that we know, Ashley quickly stopped herself from saying too much. No, there's something. No, she replied. Let me not put my, and then she stopped. Also on Watch What Happens Live, Ashley was asked about Candace continually coming for her forehead. She said, between Candace's chipmunk cheeks and my forehead and Mia's feet, we just play a little game. It's all love. So we shall see. We know that Candace was on Angela Yee's podcast talking about her and Ashley's relationship. And we always wonder, why does Candace always want to be friends with this girl? They must have shared something for them to seem like they're bonded, and just because they don't really ever get to the point of they're completely done with each other, which is weird because, like, Candace, we've seen Ashley set you up over and over, but clearly there is something. So I thought that was interesting. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Ashley and Michael are truly ever going to get a divorce? Or do you think, yes, she wanted to be free of him, but she's not going to quite divorce him because she doesn't have to worry about the prenup and all that stuff? Or is she going to get back together with him and he just didn't film? I mean, he just is not with her just so he doesn't have to film. Like, that's their storyline, so he doesn't have to be on camera. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all, let's talk about the Braxtons, y'all. I used to love, love, love the Braxtons, and then I did watch Tamar and Vince. So according to People, the Braxtons are back. Tony, Tamar, and the family return to TV 3 years after Braxton Family Value ends. While celebrating the family's new project on WeTV, Dr. Evelyn Braxton said, "I hope that through each one of our experiences, you'll grow with us." The Braxtons are heading back to the television screen. WeTV announced on Tuesday that Tony, Tawanda, Trina, Tamar, and matriarch Dr. Evelyn Braxton, and I'm saying AKA Mama E, will reunite for a new reality series, The Braxtons. So it's interesting that they say for a new reality series, because isn't it just bringing the old one back? More than 3 years after their docuseries, Braxton Family Values, came to an end, the ladies will share new love, success, heartbreak, ongoing family dynamics, and so much more on the new show, according to a press release from the network. "Thank you all for sharing our lives. I hope that through each one of our experiences, you'll grow with us," Evelyn shared in a statement on behalf of the family, "inspiring you in your endeavors and teaching you the importance of family, love, and experiencing life. Remember, we're not perfect, we're only human. Look at God." The network promises the new series will chronicle the famous family's never-before-seen private moments, from quarantine to the devastating loss of their sister Tracy, and taking viewers into their lives as they build this new chapter without her. That's what I was wondering, like, if they hadn't been filming all this time, would they, like, how would that be addressed? But I'm wondering if they have camera phone footage that they're going to intersperse in some episodes to see. I remember Tamar saying they were coming back a while ago and wondering, but I also remember when Tamar had her podcast, her saying she would never do reality TV again. And then I remember Nene was a guest on one of her episodes, and Nene said, "So you're saying you would never do reality TV?" And she basically was like, "No, not because of the way we did her." And now they're going back to we. The series comes nearly 2 years after Tracy died at 50 in March 2022. Tony announced the news of her sister's death on Instagram, calling her a bright light, a wonderful daughter, an amazing sister, a loving mother, wife, grandmother, and a respected performer. Viewers will see Evelyn help her daughters to heal together, turning pain into promise as they use the pain to power themselves and band together. This season will also chronicle Tony launching her Las Vegas residency, Love and Laughter, with Cedric the Entertainer at the Cosmopolitan. I didn't know that. Tawanda is balancing business and motherhood as she raises two teenagers, all while playing a major role in the life of her nephew, Kevin, who is navigating life without his mother, Tracy. Trina is balancing her businesses and being a mother to her two sons, navigating adulthood. Are they not going to show her marriage? Because Trina is married, remember? And Tamar is expanding her music and media empire, balancing motherhood and navigating how to juggle it all, according to a synopsis from the network. But don't forget about Evelyn, who is on the search for a life partner. I'm wondering, and this could be far off, but I feel like Tamar's fiance, then non-fiance, then fiance again, likes the spotlight. It just seems like that to me. And hey, there's nothing wrong with liking the spotlight. I think sometimes it gets a negative connotation, but I mean, I feel like as long as you're not trying to backstab and step on people to get it, then it's cool. But I wonder if he came back kind of knowing that the show was coming back, like him and Tamar getting back together, and he knows the show is coming back. Or if they have some footage that we don't know about, did they get the footage of him and Tamar breaking up, him out there with Tommy and her going back and forth with Tommy about him? I just wonder. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say that. So are y'all excited about the Braxtons? Will y'all watch it? Will it be a show you watch if nothing else is on, or will it be appointment television? I'm definitely going to watch. And lastly, I just want to talk about Miss Chrisean Rock. Now, reality star Chrisean Rock charged, sued after alleged assault at LA Club. This is from the Los Angeles Times. Reality TV personality and rapper Chrisean Rock was sued Tuesday for allegedly assaulting a man backstage at a Los Angeles show, then using a homophobic slur, according to court papers reviewed by the Times. The rapper, whose real name is Chrisean Malone, was sued in Los Angeles Superior Court on Tuesday after she was accused of punching a man in the face, breaking two of his teeth. According to the lawsuit, Malone was upset and talking to a man named James Wright backstage after a Tamar Braxton performance on November 10th at the Novo, a club on Olympic Boulevard in downtown Los Angeles. Malone thought she was supposed to rap during the show, but Wright believed she was only supposed to take part in a dance performance at the end of the show. Malone, who starred in the Zeus Network reality show Baddies, became upset with Wright and struck him several times in the face, according to the lawsuit. She was wearing rings at the time, the suit claims. She hit him multiple times in the face for no reason at all. We were surprised that she was able to leave the facility that night, said Wright's attorney, Kevin Anderson. She had on rings that were pretty much equivalent to brass knuckles. Anderson said that Braxton was in the room when the assault occurred. As Malone was being pulled out of the dressing room where the alleged assault occurred, she used a homophobic slur to describe Wright and said she would hit him again, according to the lawsuit. Wright went to the hospital afterward with 2 broken teeth and cuts on his face, the suit says. The date of the incident is the same as listed in a criminal case filed in January against Malone in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing her of assault with a deadly weapon and battery. Malone is known for dating the rapper Blueface. The two have a baby together. Malone could not immediately be reached for comment. But this line that said the date of the incident is the same as that listed in a criminal case filed in January against Malone in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing her of assault with a deadly weapon and battery. So I'm wondering, did James file that day or that night? And for whatever reason, either he refiled, or is that a separate incident? I would think we would have heard if she had another incident that night. So I'm thinking it may be the same incident. Either way, maybe this will be the wake-up call to wake her up even a little bit, because she didn't went and got that tattoo of that man's face on her face. Maybe this will wake her up. That's all that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to go off a deep end. But I hope that she gets everything that she deserves and that James Wright gets everything that he deserves. Y'all, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you again for watching. Bye, y'all.